everybody! Welcome back to Sunday! Yay! I've got my wonderful Sundae here. If you don't know, this is Ben, Tom, and Jerry. Yeah, they're my Sunday buddies. I shouldn't say that though, because I'm gonna eat them. Yeah. Oops. So last week we did talk about Nana again, and I'm gonna keep talking about Nana because it's really good. Like the plot keeps going and it just gets really good. Yeah. So if you remember last week we talked about how the Nanas were moving in together, right? So they moved in together and then they realized they didn't have a lot of like housing items like furniture and stuff. So they decide to go shopping for furniture, right? Like furniture and small housing items like cups, plates, bowls. They didn't have any of that because they both came from like places that they didn't need it. Like Hachi Nana came from her parents, and then the other Nana, where did Nana come from? It doesn't really say. I wonder who she lived with before. Anyway, Nana basically just came with just some of her clothes and stuff and her guitar. Yeah. So they go shopping and stuff, and it's really cute because like they go into this vintage store and they're looking at all these things, and Hachi Nana finds these really cute glasses with little strawberries on them, like strawberries. I call them strawberries, but yeah, it's so cute. She goes, "Oh, look at these glasses! They have little strawberries on them." And Nana's like, "I'd rather just eat strawberries than drink, a cup with them." And Hachi's like, "Oh, I'll put them back." And Nana's like, "Wait, why are you putting them back?" And Hachi's like, "Well, you didn't seem to like them." And Nana's like, "Well, just because I don't like them doesn't mean you don't have to get them." And it's really funny. And she's like, "Oh, I'll get them then." And then that's when Nana starts calling her Hachi because she's like a dog. It's so funny. So that's where Hachi's nickname came from, was when they went shopping together and stuff. Yeah. And then the manager of the store comes up and asks if they're doing okay, And Nana, like Hachi Nana, immediately starts flirting with him. It's so funny, oh my gosh. And then she asks if he happens to be hiring, because she needs a job, And he's like, "Well, I'm sure I could find some work for you if you're interested." Yay! So Nana Hachi gets a job. Yay! It's great. So then on their way home, Hachi decides to stop at one of the CD stores, like a music store, because the latest album from the band Trap Nest came out. Oh my gosh, and it's a really big band. Yeah, so they go into the music store and Hachi's getting a CD, and Nana stops when she sees this poster of Trap Nest, and she's looking up at it, and it has Ren on it, her ex. Do you remember Ren? Yeah, he's on the poster of Trap Nest because that was the band he joined. And he's still wearing this padlock necklace around his neck on a chain that Nana wrapped around, put on him. And she still has the key to it. And he still wears it. And she's just shocked. And she's looking up at the poster and she's remembering Ren. And yeah, she still loves him so much. Yeah. And Hachi Nana doesn't even notice or anything. She goes back to Nana. She's like, "Look, I got the CD. Yay! We can go home now." So yeah, then they go home. So instead of buying a table and chairs and stuff, Nana thought it would be better to get a bunch of wood, because she came across some supplies to make a table, and so she buys the wood because it's cheaper. And she actually goes and she makes an entire dining room table and 2 benches, to sit on each side of the table. It's really cool that she built it. And that kind of becomes a huge icon of the show, because at the end of the beginning scene, at the, what do you call it? The intro song that they do in show, animes. The end of it always shows that bench, or the dining room table with the benches. Yeah, it's so cool. Yeah, well, there's one day when Nana or Hachi's working at the vintage store, her friend Junko comes to visit. Do you remember Junko? It's Hachi's friend from school. Yeah, so Junko visits the shop that she's working at and stuff. And then she notices how flirty Hachi is with the manager. Yeah, what was his name? Mizukoshi? Yeah. So Junko's like, hey, you shouldn't be flirting with him. You're dating Shoji, so you need to be careful. And Hachi's like, what? Flirting? I'm not flirting with him. What are you talking about? But it's obvious she's flirting. It's so funny. Yeah. So yeah, she warns her to be very faithful to Shoji because Shoji's a really good guy. Yeah. So then at night, they're at home and stuff, and then they get another visitor. It's Nobu from Black Stones. Yeah, from Nana's old band. Nobu arrives, and he's like, can I stay here tonight, please? And Nana's like, all right, fine, whatever. And then Hachi's like, oh, cool, you know, another band member. But yeah, then we find out that he's actually ran away from his parents' house. Yeah, he ran away from home. And it's so weird because, like, his family wants him to inherit their family business, which is like a hotel or an inn. But he doesn't want that. He doesn't want that for himself. He's an only child, and he's the only one to inherit it. But he really doesn't want that kind of life. He wants to just play his guitar. That's what he wants to do. He doesn't even really care about, like, making it big or making money. He just wants to play his guitar and stuff. Yeah. So then he says he wrote a new song and he wants to play it for them. So he pulls out his guitar and he starts playing the song, you know. It's great. And then he convinces Nana to sing. And there's no words for it yet because he just wrote it using his guitar. And so she starts singing like na 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 na. Whoa, I hit a thing. Yeah, so she's not really like singing words yet, but she's like singing and like coming up with like the tune, and it's really good and stuff. And then they start hearing noises in the apartment. You know, it's scary. And somebody mentioned it could be a ghost, and so Hachi gets scared, and she begs Nana to let her sleep with her tonight because she's scared. That and Nobu needs a place to sleep, so she offers her bed to Nobu. Yeah. And then it turns out it was just the neighbors. The neighbors were like annoyed that they were playing loud music so late. Yeah, but it was really good. So yeah, so Nana works on writing lyrics for that song that Nobu wrote, and they decide to get the band kind of back together, or at least start it up again, Black Stones, which is really fun. And that is where my favorite song from the anime comes from, Broken Rose. It was that song that Nobu wrote. Yeah. I'm a broken rose. Yeah, it's so good. Yeah. Yay. Food time, yay! This is the part where I get to talk about foods and stuff. Yeah, I really like it. So this week, I wanted to kind of talk about how to make caramels. You know, like the soft, chewy caramel candies? They're so good. They might get stuck in your teeth, so you need to make sure you brush your teeth after you eat them, but they're really, really good. Yeah. And this is another thing that if you're gonna make it at home, make sure you have an adult present, because it also gets really, really hot because you got to use the stove and it's really messy. So yeah, make sure you have an adult present if you plan on doing this. So yeah, so you want to take some butter and some sugar and some corn syrup, and you mix it in a large saucepan, right? And you mix on the stove, and you gotta keep mixing, and you let it boil up and simmer like blah 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 blah. It's gonna bubble up and stuff, and you have to keep mixing, because if you stop mixing, it might actually form like hard balls in it or whatever, and that's not good. So you gotta make sure you keep stirring. You can't stop stirring it. Yeah. And then you slowly add some evaporated milk. And it takes a lot of evaporated milk. So you pour in just a little bit as you stir. You stir. And you pour a little more in, and you stir. And you pour a little more in, and you stir. And you pour some more in, and you keep doing that. And you can't stop stirring. It's kind of a long process, but it's so worth it. So you keep stirring while it's kind of like boiling and stuff, and you pour a little more in until you run out of evaporated milk, and you're still stirring, and you're still stirring. Yeah. stirring. So yeah, you gotta keep stirring and make sure it's all nice and smooth. And you keep adding some evaporated milk and stir, 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 stir. Stir, 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 stir. And you can sing the stir song. Stir, 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 stir. We're stirring the caramel sauce. Yeah, yeah. And you add some more milk, some evaporated milk. And you stir, 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 stir. Nice and creamy and smooth. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, and you keep stirring, you keep adding and stuff. Yeah. And then to test it to see if it's ready, you take some of it and you put it in cold water. And then once it's in the cold water and you like touch it and stuff, and if you can form a ball that's like, it's not too melty, but it's still kind of pliable, like it's solid, but it's still pliable, then you know it's ready. If it doesn't form a ball, then you gotta keep stirring and stirring and stirring and stuff. Yeah. Yep. Oh, excuse me. And it will be a little sticky too. So if you're forming the ball and you notice it's sticky, that's normal. As long as it forms a solid like little ball, then it's ready. Yeah. And this will be about 240 degrees. So if you have a candy thermometer, you can use that too. But if you don't have a candy thermometer, then you can use the ball method. Yeah. And 240 degrees is really hot, so please be careful. I don't want anybody to burn themselves. It burns. It gets really, really hot. Yeah, like really hot. So then you want to remove it from the hot stove, and then you stir in some vanilla. And you stir, 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 stir in the vanilla. And then you pour it into a pan. Yeah, and you can and then you refrigerate it. Yeah, then you gotta put it in the fridge for several hours or overnight, you know, to let it harden and stuff. And that'll make it easier to cut and wrap up. Yeah, because you gotta wrap them up and stuff. Otherwise they'll just stick to each other and make a mess. Yeah. But yeah, you gotta be super careful because the caramel sauce is like boiling. Well, it's literally boiling, but it's really, really hot. Yeah. And it can burn you very easily, so be careful. And if you want, you can also add in a little bit of salt. If you like salted caramel, that would be really good. Yeah, salted caramel. But yeah, that's how you make caramels. Yeah, it's really yummy. I like caramel on my ice cream. There's no caramel on this one, but normally I really like caramel on my ice cream. Yeah. But yeah, that's how you make caramels. Story time! Yay. This week the story is about like this bloom festival. Yeah, this is a good one. Once upon a time, in a small town that was very nice and lovely, they have a bloom festival every year, like for spring, to commemorate this coming of spring and all the flowers and stuff. And every year, this woman, Daisy, who owns a flower shop, she makes a beautiful display for the festival because they have like a contest to see who has the best display. Yeah. And then the winner every year gets a wonderful, delicious, yummy, yummy Sundae ice cream from the local like ice cream store. Yeah, and it's just the best. So every year, Daisy tries her best. Yeah, and this year, she grew all of her flowers and stuff, including the tulips. Well, she tried to make the tulips, but all of the flowers bloomed except the tulips. And it was really sad because like the tulips was like her main thing. This year she was gonna make it all about tulips. But they didn't bloom this year. They didn't even grow. She was so upset. She's like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. It's ruined. Oh no. She was very upset. And when the local baker came in to order his flowers for his wife that he normally gets her every year, near their anniversary, he came in and stuff, and she was just, talking, and she told him about her dilemma, and he was like, oh no, that's awful. And she's like, I know, I don't know what I'm gonna do. My whole idea was centered around tulips, and I didn't get tulips this year. Yeah, it was so sad. So then the baker got an idea. He called and told his wife, and his wife told her friends, and a bunch of people came together, and they all went around like to the parks and stuff and like the wild places, and they picked a bunch of tulips for her. Yeah, it was great. And even some of them got them from their own gardens. So everybody picked a few tulips, and they all came and they dropped them off at Daisy's shop. And Daisy was like, "What? What is this? Tulips! I needed these. How did you know?" And all of the people were like, "Well, we come together as a community, you know." And she was so happy. She got to decorate her display with her tulips and everything, and it came out really nicely, and it was great and wonderful. And she actually won first place. Yay! Yay, Daisy. And she got the sundae. Yeah, she got the wonderful, delicious sundae. And she decided to share it with all the people that helped her. Yeah, so everybody got some ice cream, and it was great. Yeah. The end. Yeah, that was a good story. Yeah. Oh, I just have my cherry left. It's the best. I love it. I love it so much. Yeah. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this segment of Sunday. I love doing these. They're so fun. If you like my content, make sure you subscribe to my channel. I have like tutorials, and I also have some games that I play and stuff. Yeah. And of course, I've got all my Sundays that I've been doing. They're so much fun. Yeah, so if you like those, you can check out the playlist of Sunday. Yeah, but thank you so much for being here, everybody. I appreciate you. And I hope you have a wonderful Sunday. Bye-bye. Yeah, tulips are really pretty. They're like shaped like cups, you know? They're like bloop, bloop, bloop. Like, I can't get it. Sunday. But yeah, tulips are pretty. I don't know what my favorite flower would be, or is. I hadn't thought about it. I like carnations. Roses are really pretty. Tulips are really pretty. The smell of lilac. Oh my gosh, it's so good. I should get a lilac bush. Yeah, they smell so good.